Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Scouse TV here at Florrie Radio. We have our musician with us. We've got a bit of a Mediterranean feel tonight, so good evening to the amazing Carlitos Blues. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Right, musical influences, as I said, we got you down at an open mic at the Pierhead and you gave us what was described as a Mediterranean feel. Tell us a bit about you, because obviously, you know, with the accent, you're not from round here.
No, I came from Spain.
Okay, whereabouts in Spain?
I'm from Catalonia, you know, and from Barcelona. If you go to Barcelona, you go to the north.
Yeah.
Then a village in there,
Very
in
nice.
there.
Fantastic.
Pepland, isn't it? Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
Catalonia, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So from there, why Liverpool?
Because I went first to London, so I know. Sorry about that. No, really good, but
you learn quick.
Yeah. So after 1 year, I decided literally. What I decided to go to Liverpool because I typed in Google the happiest city in England, literally, and the first in the list was Liverpool. So I was like, I'm a musician and I want happy people, not like London. So I was like, I was like, Liverpool is
So how long have you been up here now?
3 years and a half, I think, or 4.
Fantastic.
Has it lived up to its happy reputation?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm impressed with the people, and I'm really glad to be here.
Alright, as a Catalan, what do you think of the food though? Because we were talking about this in the first half of the show. What do you think about Liverpool food?
Let me talk about good things, and then I'll...
Yeah.
You know, I live with my grandmother, so it's like a big change.
Granny's cooking, definitely.
You need to have a pan of Scouse.
Yeah.
No,
I never tried.
You don't need Scouse, mate. You need corned beef or chopped pork.
Oh yeah.
Like council meat, mate.
Musical influences. I mean, as we've said and we've touched on, you know, your music does have that Mediterranean, that almost a holiday vibe feel to it. And I think that for me, when you were down the pier, it was a warm night and everyone was having a drink. And the music you played, it just fit. It fit perfectly for that. And we've got you in here on a wet Tuesday night and pissing it down outside. So we kind of need a bit of sunshine, I think, tonight. What are your musical influences?
I would say mainly the Rolling Stones and Radiohead are probably the two bands that I like the most. And then Neil Young and Eric Clapton as a solo artist. And that like a main, like the 4 ones that I like, you know.
That's your Mount Rushmore of music, is it?
Yeah. It's more like really what I really like, and then obviously Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, but you know.
Choices.
Yeah, not bad.
Playing gigs in Liverpool. I mean, we're getting our acts a shout out. Like, do you have like a what's called a residency?
Yeah.
Do you have like regular places you play each week, or do you just float around and play different venues?
I had some residencies, but it was like there was nobody there. Obviously, quite difficult. So, but like this Sunday I just played one in the Library Hotel in Waterloo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which was
at my end.
Yeah. It was really nice, and the people was amazing.
The Library Hotel, I think it's McManaman's family, Steve McManaman, ex-Liverpool player. I'm sure their family own that or used to own it anyway.
All right.
Yeah. My end of the city, just throwing out
useless facts. It's not yours.
What I'd like to ask as well, Carlitos, while we've got you here, it's a subject that we covered in the show about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It was a statement in regards to Mo Salah and obviously the view of the city's views, and obviously Islamophobia is obviously decreased because Mo Salah. So obviously someone from Spain, coming obviously speaking from a neutral point of view about the political climate in not just Liverpool but the UK as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever feel, have you ever been treated differently because you're not from the area? Have you ever experienced any of that on your way? What's your view? Because we seem to be given sort of a view from the city itself. So from somebody who's now living in our city, it'd be interesting to see how your view, like what experiences you may have had around the city.
In my experience has been really good. Like honestly, I can't complain about it. But I know a guy that had an experience, but just with a drunk woman. So obviously, if you're drunk, you don't know what to do. So I think Liverpool in general in general, obviously there's a brick always in every corner, but in general I think it's way better than, for example, other cities. Like I've seen like a group in Facebook, Spanish in London, and I always see complainings from them, you know, the people that say get out of these things. But in general, Liverpool, I think it's quite open and it's quite different, you know. I don't know. I really like it.
The new Spanish ambassador for Liverpool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or would you be the Catalan ambassador?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
well, both.
Both.
Dual role.
So, as you're a musician in the city, I'm going to fire a few random questions at you.
Okay.
Be as honest as you want.
Oh, yeah.
Don't want to be honest, don't be honest.
I don't
At
know.
the venues you've played in, what's the best venue in the city? What would you say out of experience?
I would say the best venue is a Lock and Key in Bootle.
Yeah.
It's a community pub and it's really just... It's like what I mean from Liverpool. The people is just really, really nice and they kiss you and hug you and then you're like, alright. You know? But it's the kind of people that you want in a gig, you know, that they are really, really thankful and they just tell you everything and like, oh, I love you and that. And so, you know, it's really nice.
And I'm going to give you the harder one as well. What's the worst venue?
The worst is...
Any musician watching in Liverpool, which venue would you tell them to stay away from?
The worst I played is Alma de Cuba, which is like, it had the residency in there. And I was...
Why is that?
Just because there was nobody there and nobody took care of us as a band. They didn't say hello like we just went to play, we left, we pack away everything, nobody says anything. So it was really like cold kind of situation.
That's a surprise. That I look at the venue.
Yeah.
You'd think it'd be quite you'd be quite happy to be playing there, but to hear the way you got treated and things like that, it's quite a shock. It's seen as the sort of
it's high end,
posh,
isn't it?
high end bar in Liverpool. Like it's
maybe that's
not
why.
cheap.
Maybe that's why, because they are in a different kind of situation, you know. Maybe they don't want like a normal rock band. They want more like a kind of a DJ to make cocktails. So I guess it's a kind of different mood.
So you mentioned obviously you play in band as well as solo as well. So what's the band called?
I don't have a name right now. So the thing is, I've been doing.
Can we help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we help?
I was thinking House of Scouse, but it's taken.
Hang on a minute. I'm sure we could come to some kind of contractual arrangement.
We'll have to learn some Bootle slang.
Yeah.
Some Bootle slang. But yeah, so what we're going to do anyway, so Carlitos has kindly come down. Every week we have an ongoing running thing which is a Scouse classic cover.
Okay.
So Carlitos has kindly offered to play a couple of songs with people at home, so you can actually hear the music that we've witnessed in the past. You can actually dwell and listen to what Carlitos has got to say.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll let Carlitos go and get packed up.
Alright.
We'll give you Jack and Yankee, we'll give you some useful, unuseful, I don't know, they're going to talk to you for a couple of minutes while we get somebody ready. So just going to zoom in on these two guys, get Carlitos ready, and we'll have some fantastic music from you in about 2-3 minutes time.
Yeah, nice one.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I see you've lost the shirt.
Well, I kind of had to, didn't I, at the end? I mean, apparently people now saying I wasn't even wearing it, so I've done it once, I'm not doing it again. While Carlitos is setting up,
What's on your mind, Anthony?
oh, there's loads on my mind, but
What's on your mind?
no, I was going to ask you about your music, you know, what your musical influences.
My musical influences. I'm very much, and you can tell by looking at me, I love rap and grime. That is what I listen to morning, noon, night, and sprinkle a little bit of heavy metal on top, and you've got my musical influence. I don't play any instruments. I'd love to be able to play an instrument.
I was awesome on the triangle as a kid. Fantastic on the triangle. I was alright with the cymbals.
I can see that.
Now I wouldn't have had you down as a rap and grime at all.
Well, from my old man, I'd say he influences the metal side and the rock. That comes from him. The rap and the grime I stumbled upon.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is the main staple of my of my daily routine. I'll drive to work, full blast, windows down, bit of rap, bit of band music, bit of gigs.
I just couldn't imagine it at all.
AJ Tracy, loving it.
Never heard of it.
I'll put you on to it.
I've only heard of Stormzy because I did a loadout for him once. I thought it'd be really easy. You know, a couple of decks and a couple of mic stands. And he had like 11 banks of lights.
I
took about 5.
I like,
So 5 hours to do the loadout.
I don't mind Stormzy, he's alright. I'm
Well, we said, I mean, Megan was doing this for me earlier on when we did our little bonus one. She said, I just haven't got a clue. But, right, enough talking from us. Now we're going to get the real talent on the show. As I said, he's shaking his head, I don't know why. Well, you're the one who can play the guitar and sing and the harmonica, obviously. So yeah, enough about me and Jack for now. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you officially to Carlitos Blues.
Alright.
Take it away.
Okay. I'm gonna start with the Beatles song if you want.
Go straight
Is
in.
it good? Yeah.
Hey, Timmy, the Scouse course. We're just going to call it Gary.
Here I stand, in hand, turn my face to the wall. If she's gone, I can go on, filtering through the smog. Everywhere, people stand, each and every day. I can see them laugh at me, I am near them say, hey, you got to hide your love away. Hey, you got to hide your love away. How can I even try hearing them say, how could she say love will find a way? Got around all your clouds, let me say, hey, you got to hide your love away. Hey, you got to hide your love away. Hey, you got to hide your love away. I said, hey, you got to hide your love away.
Brilliant. So what's the next one? Are we going to be in a cover, an original
I'm gonna play an original. If you don't
song?
mind, yeah.
Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen at home anyway, below in the comments we'll give you all his Facebook, Instagram, all the logs for the followers page. Give him a good like, good follow. We have a very kind gentleman that's come down to support us again tonight, so he's our Catalonian gentleman in Liverpool. Ladies and gentlemen, Carlitos.
This one is called The Wild. Wow. science bill taken, tied and neutralized. You're so beloved when you are away. The wild has born anyway. Baby, my song on the brine. Maybe alone I'll be feeling alive. Maybe the calm will reside when I smile. Better tell me when the sun wants to rise. Better call me when the world wants to stand up. You better tell me when the sun wants to rise. Better call me when the wild wants to give up.
Thank you to Carlitos.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
That
guys.
is definitely music to have a cold beer to and just relax, isn't it?
All we needed was the sun shining through the windows.
Would have been perfect, wouldn't it?
Perfect, yeah.
No, that was great, thank you.
Right.
Spotify, you on Spotify and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And iTunes and YouTube
Everything.
and here as well.
I'm here as well.
Yeah.
Then you've made it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that's definitely a call to the racer of three. Sitting down, listening to that type of music, that'll do for me on a
Yeah. It's
on a summer's evening, definitely. So thank you very much.
brilliant.
Just before I go as well, we have the second mother wave out of the series. We have a Jane Thistlewood waving. Say hi to your mum, Jar. We had Aunt's mum wave and give a shout out
Last week, yeah.
Last
My
week.
mum last week.
So, Julie, or what's for your mum, Foz?
Fozz's
No,
ma.
no comment.
As we make an appearance soon.
No, it's a thing now. Our mums are now watching, so we've got to
Big
behave ourselves. You can't swear, no.
Bollocks.
I fucking
It's just the way you whispered it.
Sorry, Mum. So while we're just thanking it again, thank you very much, Carlitos. Are we doing the boxing chat first, or are we closing with the boxing chat? Is there anything else we want to bring up, or?
I've got a few little things to bring up in a minute anyway. I'm just going to
All right,
shout out
all right. Well, we'll do the boxing
Yeah.
chat first, and then we'll come back to
Sounds good.
Spot on.
right. So Foz,
I'm going to be a bit of a lemon here because I know absolutely nothing about boxing.
I know,
That's what
we-
I've found out. But
Right.
them punches are hard.
yeah, they are. Right, we've got to reduce Foz to just a few minutes, which normally for Foz when it talks boxing is impossible. The heavyweight scene seems to have opened up now this weekend massively. Surprised, not surprised at Wilder's reaction to it. Very surprised at Tyson Fury's initial response to it. Where now? Where do we go now? Foz is stunned. We all predicted AJ last week. Obviously rumours are flying around now that maybe he was knocked out in sparring, maybe there's talk now saying he had a panic attack before the fight.
I can reveal that the rematch clause has been executed tonight.
But doesn't the WBO title potentially become vacant? Or if they all agree with it?
If the rematch clause has been executed, as I'm aware of, then the WBO situation doesn't become a situation.
Is there some breaking news for ScouseCast?
It is indeed breaking news for ScouseCast.
There we go.
Andy Ruiz,
No.
Andy Ruiz Jr. will make the first defence of his world heavyweight titles in a rematch against Anthony Joshua in November or December, and the promoter Eddie Hearn will reveal the date and the venue in due course.
Okay, so we've got that as an exclusive. Callum did the biz I mean, that man
Did
168.
Biz.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
Like, as a novice now who hasn't followed any of this boxing sport over the weekend,
okay.
fill me in.
Callum Smith is one of four. Yeah.
I'm not.
Are you not that
I'm
bad?
not that. No.
Callum is the one.
Right.
Do you know what? He's a cracking guy. I've met him a few times. He's humble as anything. And how that guy makes £168 every fight, I'll never know. However, he's humble as hell. He's a genuinely nice lad. But at the end of the day, that guy can knock people out. As simple
So
as.
who is his opponent?
It's going to be Canelo.
No.
His opponent was a former world champion
Oh, that one.
who went down 6 times against another former world champion in defeat, and who beat St Helens' Martin Murray back in December. He came into the fight against Callum on a win, and Callum had 9 months of inactivity. Absolutely obliterated the poor fella inside 3 rounds. Landed 3 clean shots, scored 3 knockdowns in three different rounds before the referee called a halt to the contest. Sorry, I felt like I was right in there. But the referee had seen enough. It was more than enough.
Yeah.
Callum was scintillating. And now, another little exclusive reveal. I'm told.
Can you take it again? Jack?
No.
I'm told September at Anfield there is there is a date on hold at Anfield for Mundo against Canelo.
Right, now Foz.
Boom! What a fight.
You've got to be sure about this, because as we now know.
I had it from his manager's mouth at 9 o'clock this morning.
Right, I know this, but
where did the news come from now?
His manager's mouth.
Yeah.
I was well into it. Right. So, see, the thing is now, Foz, now that we're doing shows like this, and when we do conversations like this, we now have feedback.
Yes.
So, Mark from Liverpool clearly wasn't very happy with last week's fantasy competition. Was he?
He was pissed off.
Apparently it was what was his exact phrase? A load of shit.
Yeah.
Unlucky
Mark from Liverpool.
Thanks, Mark.
No. Do you know what? I'm going to take let's take the moral high ground on this, right? The thing is, if you feed them back, whether it's good or bad, you watched. You watched and listened to form an opinion. If you think the show's great, you watch the show. If you took the time to send a tweet to say that we were shit, you still watch the show.
He's right.
Well, go on.
I'm reading one of the comments that's come through, and a guy called Steve Cars was put breaking news, Foz's chopper is massive.
How much has he been paid to say that?
You take that
Foz is a fake page. Wait, is this genuine? Is this real news? How does he know about Foz's chopper?
Do you know who Steve Cars is?
I don't know who Steve Cars is.
He's seen your chopper, lad. So Foz's chopper, is that the big exclusive tonight? That's Foz's chopper. Where'd you go after that?
Fantasy fights.
Are we doing this again?
Yeah.
After last week where Foz...
This is called the Fuck You Steve Cup.
What's Steve?
Oh, Mark. Steve Cars. Like, fuck you, Mark, as well. I knew Steve was a big chopper.
Just before we go on quick, I mean, obviously, I couldn't really say much last week because one of the 4 fighters pays my wages. But you've got to thank them for at least getting in touch, and any corrections, any mistakes we made, we're big enough to hold our hands up. I know Nathan Caller's got in touch as well, and he retweeted a few times. Any fighters we use on this, if you want to come on the show, you know, correct us face to face. I'll put Foz in front of me.
Phone the
'cause-
Foz.
No, it's just a case of us just showcasing a brilliant talent, and obviously in a four-way competition, people have to lose. It's not a real fight, and obviously the guy's ego will be watching that and won't like it. But we're not here to piss people off. We're just here to build it up and put our spin on it, which is this like fancy.
Well, I mean, any fighters who want to come on and even chat about their career, about what they're doing, they're more than welcome anytime. I mean, we don't want to become yet another boxing show, but I mean, they're a Scouse sport.
We could have a spin-off boxing show if I get my way.
Well, we could do.
Like a food show, boxing show, what else do you
We
want?
could have a whole network.
Right, so
Right, okay, tonight.
So explain it to Jack, because Jack wasn't here last week. What we do is we've got 4 fighters that were split down into the old-fashioned weights. So last week we done cruiserweights, 4 fighters. Whether last week we had people varying in standard qualities, match, whatever they've had. So it's not looking too much into it. It's just saying that these 2 guys, but today who wins. Foz's knowledge, whether they agree with it or not, it's not a right or wrong answer. We're using Foz's boxing expertise here. He's the encyclopedia of Liverpool boxing. So this week,
With a massive chopper.
so moving on to the lightweights, we've got 4 fighters here. Foz will know them all, obviously really well from covering them. You guys may know a couple of them.
Probably not.
You know a couple of them. So we've got the 4 guys in the lightweights. We've got a guy who's doing well of late. The last 12 months has been a big year for him, Robbie Davis Jr.
Yeah, he's actually a 10-stone fighter, but you've had to squeeze him in.
So we've had to compress people down.
He was brilliant in the new Avengers film, by the way.
He was alright, wasn't
The second fighter, we've got Stephen Swifty Smith.
He was actually a super featherweight, but you've had to bump him up.
Exactly. You can see where I'm going with this kind of Foz. We're trying to fit them in as best as we can. Then, next up, we've got a guy from over the water. We've changed it to Merseyside, so we can include Birkenhead and Masher.
He's a Birkenhead, I'm not interested.
Oh, well, getting mashed on the
No,
shot.
listen.
No. You can
no,
deal with
no,
Masher.
no,
You
no,
can deal with
Major
Masher.
bed lying it now.
You can have your view when you come
Mash
back
it
and
on
match it
well,
up.
tagging you.
And let me
with
finish before it loses. We've got another guy, so Tom Farrell. So just to restate, we've got Robbie Davis Jr., Swifty, we've got Masher, and we've got Tom Farrell.
Why have you not got any actual lightweights in there?
Well, according to BoxRec, you can have your argument with BoxRec. You know, you
I
have got,
could name several just off the top of my head here that you
Okay.
haven't included.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but these are HOS weight divisions, not official.
Yeah, no, but I can tell you actual lightweights that haven't been included in the lightweight category.
Let's do it then, Foz.
Go for it.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to rip up the script, we're going to put it away. Foz is going to name us 4 lightweights.
Swift and
Now
Phil.
you're gonna kill me because
No.
I can think of one off the top of my head.
So it's not a real fight. Let's just get that straight. It's a
Let's
fantasy
just get this
fight.
done and we'll sort it out
Yeah.
next week.
So
Fantasy matchups. isn't
So before we lose about 10 hours, let's just go back to the 4 fighters who are matching up.
Yeah.
So we've got Robbie Davis,
Yeah,
Swifty,
yeah.
Masher, Tom Farrell.
Yeah.
Short versions.
Yeah.
What's
First-
the first semi?
The first semi-final is Robbie Davis Jr. He's going to be taking on Tom Farrell.
Oh,
Who, what, where, when, why?
interesting. Both former Knowsley Vale lads, both amateur teammates, former pro teammates, 2 quality lads. Robbie's British 2-time Commonwealth and European champion. Tom's a former WBA international champion. Both at 10 stone. Okay, this is at lightweight, but both at 10 stone. 2 great lads. I've got Robbie edging it just at this moment.
Okay. So Robbie Davis Jr. takes his position in the final. Robbie's going to be up against a tough fight. This will be a tough fight. I'm trying to be on the fence here, Foz. It's not my decision to make. We've got Swifty and Masher.
Again, 2 quality lads, two great fighters. Masher's been a little bit inactive of late after losing a couple on the back of the Tommy Coyle defeat. He got a win and then went and lost a couple. So he has been a little bit inactive. Swifty has had the height of inactivity over the past couple of years, obviously since he lost to Francisco Vargas.
And then he lost his ear.
And that horrendous
that
ear
was
injury.
unreal.
For him to actually be back in the ring after his ear was hanging off, you've got to take it out. You know what I mean?
17 months out. 17 months out. Got a win in Nottingham back in May. Routine 6-round run out against Des Newton. I think Swifty's back out on the 16th of June in Manchester. No news yet as to what the plan is for Masha. But if you were to look at the two of them in terms of ability, you would have to go with Swifty on this one.
Okay. So there we have it. So our final has been arranged. So we've now got finals come up. As we said last week, we'll give them a couple of hours, get the breath, get the legs back. We'll have a fortnight, do whatever you want to do.
Throw a bit of water in
There
there.
you go. So the finals come up now. We've got Robbie Davis Jr. taking on Stephen Swifty Smith.
Swifty's got the amateur pedigree, Commonwealth Games medalist. Robbie, as I said, British Commonwealth, European champion. Swifty's a former British Commonwealth champion who was mandatory for 5 years for that European title down super feather. It's one of them. That's a proper toss up at this moment. But if you were to look at the careers as a whole, you'd have to say Swifty, because he's been a former world title challenger. He's done X, Y, Z. Robbie, okay, he's lost to Siravaka, but he's since avenged that defeat in a rematch and gone on to win British Commonwealth European titles again. So, but you know, a fit Stephen Smith beats many super featherweights. A fit Robbie Davis beats many light welterweights. Bring them both to a level where they can fight each other in this fantasy matchup. You've got to go with Swifty, I think.
We have it. So Swifty takes it. Anthony had no allegiances this week. He had no boss man to bring into the mix.
To be honest with you, it's fascinating, obviously, because we're doing this. Every category is a catchweight. You know, the way we're doing this. So obviously, you know, the opinions of the show are our opinions. You know, they're our views. Like you said, boxing is an ego sport. So you might get people who are going to listen to this and, you know, they have their views. So I just want to reiterate on behalf of the four of us, your views are absolutely valid.
3 in the fuzz.
Right? 3 in the fuzz. Oh, why are you singling yourself out? Anyway, your views are valid, folks. Provided they agree with fuzz. No, not really.
Yeah.
More comments, more feedback we get, the better. For those four, you know, let us know on Facebook, let us know on Twitter. Who do you have winning and why? Yeah. You know, it's an open debate. Well, you know, so you've got your four there. Scott, just go through the four again. Well, I know we're going to tag them in the tweets and stuff like that.
Robbie Davis Jr., we've got Stephen Smith, we've got Masha, and then we've got Tom Farrell.
So let us know, House of Scouse TV on Twitter.
Who comes out on top of them 4 fighters. Steve Cars, he's commented back for you, Foz. Chris Walker has forgot 10 times more than Foz.
I would agree with that.
And nothing wrong with us Jedis. So Steve is over the water.
Tell
our neighbourly cousins.
Tell Steve I love the Birkenheaders.
Very quick. Mash has come, hasn't he? Mash has been sending you messages.
Mash has just rang me actually.
I guess he's just not allowed in the gym over the water. Fozzy, sorry Scon, you've got a few topics we're going to finish this evening's show on for a bit of a...
Yeah, finish on a little bit of a light note, get a little bit of laughter before we go, take it away from the sporting angle. And this is something you can all get involved in, people at home as well, as I say. When you're watching
thanks
at
for
home,
people who are interacting as well, it's appreciated.
You know, we're starting to build up a bit of an army on a Tuesday, so just stay with us, stick with us. But hopefully this resonates with people at home as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to a blast from the past. Something we can all do, something we can all discuss. But obviously, I'll throw my name in the hat for this week's one. One of you guys can bring up a blast from the past for next week. But I'm just going to go about basically being little bastards, getting leggers. As a kid, just getting leggers for the sake of I'm full of shitless. Who do I want to chase me today? And for me, Jack was looking over me notes earlier on, and Jack misinterpreted one of my bullet points. It would have been a really sore bullet point.
Different story.
But I just want to go back, and he asked another question about a tree in the door, didn't you? You've seen a bullet point on this?
Yes.
So it goes back to... So basically it was a conversation about being little bastards getting like us when we were kids. And when we were young, we lived on an estate, and you know what it's like when you get a gang of lads together, it's Chinese whispers at its heightest, you know what I mean? I heard that guy down at Old Gotcham Barnes pregnant with a handshake. I got told by Betty. Right, okay.
Betty from Belvale.
Betty from Belvale. She gets about meetings every week. So on our estate, there was this guy, he kept himself to himself. He come out every morning, he must have been a security guard, he had, you know, them like little white things, what he called, on his shoulders, and people...
The lapel...
I don't know what they are, they have the badges on, so police officers have them. This guy was coming in from work every 5 o'clock every night. He dressed in uniform. Obviously, police officers don't just work 9 till 5. There's a floor in there already. The kids are like, a police officer? There's a police officer in our estate. So we lived in the docks, rough arse estate in the docks. It couldn't have been nothing worse than being a policeman. So all of us kids were all in the street. I'm about 6, hanging around with a group of lads, must have been about 6 or 7. The old lads, yeah, he's definitely busy. This big lump, who was about 14, but he was about 25 stone, pulls a tree out the ground. It wasn't a full size, like 20 foot tree. It was just like a 2-year-old tree. He had a bit of a weight in it. He's ripped it out the ground. So he's given it to us and went, go ahead kids, grab it and run and barricade his door with it. Young kids, stupid enough. So there's 6 of us. We've all got hold of this tree. Bear in mind, one fella just ripped it out. It took 6 of us to hold it. The fella must have been watching us out of the street, out of the window. So next minute we've all come in, stumbling up the path, come running in. He's opened the door just as we bounce to hit it, so we all go running in through the door. I'm the last one out. And then we all started taking chase. I've looked around and thought, shit, I'm a fat kid. So I was the one who gets caught anyway, so that was my story about getting leggers anyway, so we were highly misinterpreted, so I can say. But any of you got any stupid stories, getting leggers?
It wasn't. It's not so much getting like it was. There used to be a butcher's at the top of Park Road, and when we were a kid, as most butchers were kind of prone to do, they didn't have all the fingers. Back then, you know, like when they were apprentices or whatever, you know, like they'd lop the top of a finger off or whatever. And I always remember every time I'd go into that butcher's with my ma, the first thing I'd say to him, I still haven't found it yet, you know. And he must have said it to all the kids. I'll give you like a quid if you can find the top of my finger for me, because everyone would just stare at his finger, and I'd be like, if you find it, I'll give you the quid. And the first thing we'd always say to him, I haven't found it yet, you know. Well, you keep looking, and you know when your parents are there and they're like, oh God bless him, at least he's not bored in this shop. So it was kind of, for me, the whole, you know, Saturday morning shopping thing. It wasn't so much getting legged, it was like getting bored, and you know, that whole blast from the past. Yeah. And you see the kid, you'd see like your mates, and you'd all have that same look. You'd be like, oh, I want to go home, I've had enough now. And then your man would walk down the street either quickie or well, it used to be Leo's, where, God, that's not even there anymore. And then it'd be the sweet aisle, you'd suddenly behave, you were a little shit all the way around Leo's or quickie. But the moment you got to that sweet and crisp aisle, you were the most well-behaved kid in that shop. You go, you know, right, Mum? Yeah, never got anything like. I mean, my mom's watching, that may or may not be true, but I never got spoiled by my mother as a kid. Like,
didn't you?
No.
How about you, Jack, as a young certain Crescent? Did you ever run past and tut at someone? In a really middle class manner?
Did someone have the tire and like not in a winter knot or something?
The butler used to ride
Ding dong.
None I can think off the top of my head. I'll bring one for next week. Not off the top of my head. Unless my mum wants to put it in the comments. But not running away from the story. Genuinely can't think.
Did you never crash the family Bentley or nothing? No.
No, I'd say you guys want to drive with.
Did you?
Yeah, it sounds like.
Oh, so Alfred never taught you guys up at Wayne Manor not to.
No, he was more like he's a bit more like Ash Jeeves. They're a bit like.
God, did you have the internet back then as well? God, I'm posh.
We had
They were posh.
We had colour photos and colour TVs and everything.
Oh, I bet you had 5 channels before I did.
I'll get one for next week. I'll get an embarrassing story for next week.
Mr. Foz.
What are the chances of me getting liked by everybody?
Right, my last contribution to the night was from a post I done on Facebook, and it's from around that in his area.
Go on.
So I need to comment on.
Okay.
And it's hashtag it's Mad Scouse Facts, and I put one out there on our Facebook page yesterday. So a Mad Scouse fact that I've learned of recent is that Adolf Hitler had a half brother that lived in Liverpool.
Right, it is true. There is a documentary on Netflix at the moment. It's called The Pact, and it's actually based on people have done the Hitler family tree when they emigrated to America. His brother at the time actually wanted to enlisted in the US Navy. You know, it was a whole propaganda exercise to say, you know, we're not all horrible and evil. It is true that before the First World War, Adolf Hitler did live here. He worked as a busboy near Delphi while he was trying to sell art over here. When he went back to Germany, a lot of his family stayed, and they lived up in the what we now know the Georgian Quarter, Liverpool 8. But it's turned out, and the documentary makers found the last 3 surviving brothers, you know, like of the last generation, and they all made a pact in their teens that they would never marry and never ever have children, so that the family name would die out. You know, in all aspects, and they're all in like the 50s now. So the child producing like days are over. So unless one of them lied and they broke the pact, these 3 brothers who live around Queens and Brooklyn and in New York, when they all pass away, that will be it. Then any familial ties to Adolf Hitler will be gone forever. But it is true, he did live in Liverpool 8. Around Catherine Street it was. I'm sure someone will correct me on that.
Stanhope was where the brother lived.
Stanhope Street, yeah. But I think it's called The Pact on Netflix.
I'll get that.
It's only about 45-minute documentary, so it's not heavy, but it does lean on the whole. You know, it's just when it got my attention, because obviously when our story starts in Liverpool, I was like, all right, the rumours are. But yeah, he was actually a busboy at the Adelphi Hotel while he was a struggling artist.
So you heard it here first. Adolf Hitler was a frequent visitor to the Blue Angel in town. The drafting.
To be honest with you, I think he invented Bongo's Bingo as well.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was like the first guy, superstar boudoir apparently as well. But
okay, so I think on a bombshell to finish on. Hitler was last seen in Superstar Boudoir.
You didn't get that one, did you? You haven't even got your own joke there, have you?
Enlighten us, Foz, come on.
To finish on that bombshell you've just said.
Right, so before we finish on that tumbleweed, just want to thank Carlitos again for coming in this evening. Obviously, Jack for opening the show.
Jack for even turning up after last week.
Wow.
Hey, I've made him to that boxing match up.
Jack knows
Foz
Rob.
has beat Denny Matthews.
So yeah, as of this week, we are official now on iTunes as well. So when the shows go on YouTube and then they go on podcast form, we go through the Anchor Podcasting Network. So you can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, you can find us on iTunes, you can find us on SoundCloud. That's the Mount Rushmore, I think, of podcasting. Foz will now correct me because he's gone to the mic.
Mixcloud.
Mixcloud's there, but SoundCloud's been around longer. I've done a little bit of research, so they're the Mount Rushmore. If you listen to us on iTunes, leave a 5-star review. Just turn around and say I told you to. Do you know what I mean? They don't read it, but the algorithms mean we move up the chart. So just say I told you to. Jack's handsome. You know, just put whatever you want in the comments.
Like Foz has a massive chopper.
Yeah, you can put that in the comments now. Sconner's beanie hat looked great. You know, stuff like that.
It's that fat show sketch, and it ain't look great.
Yeah. So, as always, thanks to everyone for watching. As Steve's done tonight, mentioned about Foz's Chopper. Feel free to leave comments during the show. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Wait there. Next week, special show.
Wow, special.
Special show next week.
Why is it special?
It's your birthday.
No!
Yeah.
So you're going to be here next week for your birthday?
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll
Is that the first ScouseCast birthday then?
Yeah.
I want a cake on candles and not birthday.
Fantastic.
Will you do a Yaya Toure if you don't get them?
Yeah.
You remember when Yaya Toure
Yeah.
kicked off, you're going to
Yeah,
demand
I
to
will.
go to another podcast if you don't get all that?
Yeah. What's your boy called?
You're going to go to Fight Disciples or something? You know nothing about boxing, but you're going to
I'm
get
sure-
PTM belt.
I'm sure Nick and Adam will take you.
Yeah, they have you on, don't they?
Well, yeah. Do you have any Albert Raff if they take me?
Definitely. Yeah, we'll get in touch with the Blue Room and get Dave Downey to have you on. Take you on if you're in.
We
So,
have
yeah.
a birthday forfeit request at home. Birthday challenge suggested by Katie.
Go on.
Go on.
Elaborate.
Birthday forfeit challenge.
Why? I should be like praised on my birthday. I'm doing no forfeit challenges. I want cake, presents, and birthday hats and that. I'm gonna
Like a
go
Liverpool
full
shirt?
Except like presents.
No, we've done that enough now. We've appeased the masses.
Oh, don't wear the Tranmere shirt considering I've been slating back and everything.
I used to go and wash them. When I couldn't get a ticket for the
Right, so okay, so we've got a week. Come up with suggestions for topics we can discuss for Jack's birthday week. Seeing as we've all got to be nice to him next week now. How old are you next week?
29.
Oh God, I feel so old. So yeah, join us next week for our first birthday party. Well, not the show's first birthday party, but presenter's party. What?
Steve has put guest away to Foz's ball sack.
Seriously, that shop was going to need a bigger boat.
Tell Steve to tune in next week. More will be revealed.
Yeah, so same bad time, same bad
Is that
time.
why that wheelbarrow's by the door?
So yeah, I think it's only right that we end on.
Just open them windows a minute, lad.
Right, so yeah, we'll be here same time next week, same bad time, same bad channel for Jack's 47th birthday. So until next week, we'll catch you down the road.
House of Scouse.
House of Scouse.
House of Scouse Television.
House of Scouse Television.